Good evening, Law Society. Hope everybody had a happy Easter. Just kind of going over a few things here for your assignment this week. Before I do that, though, you finished the Chapter 14, 15 study guides for last week. I know some of you still need to get that turned in. There's about three or four of you. So make sure you're getting that taken care of. This week, I will at some point post another video kind of going over those chapters, kind of breaking things down a little bit more from chapters 13, 14, and 15 that you've completed the last few weeks. All right. So this week we kind of shift our focus. We've been talking about people, from the time the search warrants are issued to they're arrested to they go to trial, and then they're eventually sentenced for a crime. This week we're going to turn that focus to those who are wrongfully convicted, those who are sitting in jails right now that are innocent, and kind of focus on some of the issues, some of the things that we see in our legal system that impact or cause some of that to happen. Okay, so the website we're going to focus on, or the group this week, is called the Innocence Project. There are other groups around the country that do this as well, but that's what we're going to kind of focus on for the most part with this assignment. Okay, so part one of the assignment goes from the Innocence Project website, and again, it's broken down into about 4 or 5 sections, and it gives you the links there. So, for example, the first two questions are under eyewitness misidentification. If I click on the link, it'll take me to this page here. And then again, I just use this page here to kind of answer those questions. Okay. And then there's one you see there on false confessions. There's another one on jailhouse informants, forensic science, and everything else. There is one site that will take you to another university page, but that should be the only one that goes off track from the Innocence Project. So you'll use those links to answer those questions. Again, there's 11 questions total, just kind of like a web quest, if you will. Okay. And then part two, you're going to do a case study. Okay. So you look at the case study. If you go to the site or the link I have here, we'll get it opened up again. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so this gives you all the different cases of people who have been wrongfully accused. And you see there's 5+ pages of people. Okay, so I'm going to click on Joseph Abbott to kind of be our lead here. And if I go through Joseph Abbott, it kind of tells me everything that happened with his. And as you look through, you're going to fill this part out here. And you're actually, I'm going to change that right now. You guys are only going to do two for this part here. So case number one, I'm going to put his name, the year of the incident. All right, so if I go back to Joseph Abbott's page there, year of the incident, it tells me there May 2nd, 1991. And then jurisdiction. Okay, jurisdiction basically means the state that it happened in. All right, so if we look here, the state was North Carolina. So that state means jurisdiction. So we'll see how many of us watch the video to find that out. Okay, then we continue going through here, charge, conviction, sentence. Okay, so if I go through there's a charge, there's a conviction, there's a sentence. It tells me how many years he served, it tells me when he was exonerated. Okay, so I get all that information there as well. Was the real perpetrator found, and compensation. So, if I keep going through here, perpetrator convicted, no. Compensation, not yet. So for some of these, we talk about compensation. They basically are being rewarded money for the years they wrongfully spent in prison. Each state has a total, a figure. The problem is it takes a while to get that taken care of. So some of these guys have been basically reimbursed, if you will, or paid for the fact that they lost 14 years of their life going to prison. So that's what they mean when they say compensation there. Okay, so some are going to have it, some are not, but it'll tell you on there. Evidence used to convict them, evidence used to exonerate them. All right, so again, you can kind of read through the story there, or it talks about. Actually, it doesn't. I'm sorry. You got to read. read through here. So if I read the story, it'll tell me what happened to get him convicted, and then if I read down here, it'll tell me what happened to get him released from prison. Okay, so you're going to do that with each person. All you're going to do is fill in that kind of chart there. Normally, we do more with this. This is all you're going to do with it. So you're going to choose one person, fill that out. You'll choose a second person and do the same thing. And that'll conclude the assignment there. We won't go any further with it at this point in time. Okay, so that'll be your assignment this week. Okay, so again, the first part of it, just using the website, the links here to answer the questions. And then the second part, go to the website, choose two people. Like I said, don't use Joseph Abbott because we used him just now, but use anybody on the site there. Like I said, you got plenty of pages, plenty of options for that. Okay, so that'll be your assignment this week. I'll also, like I said, post a video hopefully sometime this week, kind of summarizing chapters 13 through 15 as well. Okay, so as usual, if you have questions, concerns, or anything, let me know. Whether it's an email, Zoom, a Hangout, Google Classroom has a new Meet aspect to it. I haven't tried it yet, but again, whatever way is easiest for you to get information, to ask questions, let me know, and we'll get that taken care of. Okay, so those of you who still need assignments this week to get turned in, everything else, it's 8 o'clock, so you got a few hours. Make sure you're getting that in. Other than that, we'll sign off, and we'll see you next week.